Hi everyone, so let's continue where we left off last time and prove the following problem. So let's use black. It says use induction to show that if the GCD between A and B is equal to 1, then the GCD between A and B to the n is equal to 1 for all n. Okay, so if n is equal to 1, then by assumption we have that A, B to the power of 1, the GCD of that is the GCD of A and B, which is by assumption is 1. So that's true. So let's move on to the next question. The next part, not the next question. So then you have assume that the GCD between A and B to the n is equal to 1. We prove that the GCD of A and B to the n plus 1 is equal to 1. So let D be the GCD between A and B to the n plus 1. So by assumption, D divides both A and B to the n plus 1. Both A and B to the n plus 1. We can write B to the n plus 1 as B to the n times B. So we have D divides B to the n times B. So consider the GCD between D and B, if that is equal to let's call it D prime. Then if it's not 1, then we must have the following. We must have that D prime divides D, which divides A, and to also have that D prime divides B. So therefore D prime divides 1, which is the GCD between A and B. So we must have that D prime. So therefore D prime must be equal to 1, as the GCD between D and B is bigger than 1. Right? Because the GCD D prime dividing 1 means that it is less than or equal to 1. So then by the previous corollary, so by one of the corollaries, we have that D prime. So by the previous corollary, we know that since D prime is equal to 1, so then we must have that D divides B to the n. So let me just check the book. So by the corollary below, I'll just write it down. Corollary below, which tells you that if the GCD between A and B is 1, where A divides B, C, then we have that A divides C. So by that corollary, so therefore, we have that D divides B. So we must have that D is less than or equal to 1, which is GCD between A and B. So D, hence D is equal to 1 as A and Bn plus 1 is always bigger than or equal to 1. So I hope you guys enjoyed the proof. I'll make this video short and we'll continue solving problems from this book. And the reason like we get actually is this question, like the reason that we get this this problem or the solution is really because if we have that A and B has no common factors other than 1, then if we keep multiplying by, if we keep raising B to itself, we don't introduce any extra factors. It's really disjoint from the factors of A. So that's the main reason. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys.